The president called this unexpectedly. This was not planned. What was he thinking? What was the plan?
He was angry, we're told. He thought he was getting a bum rap. He thought that the media criticism, and one must also say from other politicians, including Republicans, about the first month had been unfair. Yesterday, he said that really they have a fine-tuned machine. I think that was news to almost everyone in Washington, that the Mike Flynn national security episode was part of a fine-tuned machine, that the disastrous rollout of the immigration ban was a fine-tuned machine, that some of the backbiting at the White House. He's complaining a lot about leaks, and to be sure there are leaks. There are always leaks, as we know. But a lot of the leaks are coming internally, about other people internally. That's not the mark of a well-tuned machine, but he wanted to make the case. He didn't think anybody else there can make the case the way he can.
Well, Al, I'm glad you raised the subject of leaks, because clearly they drive him nuts. He's really upset about it. And who can blame him? When I ran ABC News, I didn't like leaks either. That's perfectly understandable. But you and I have seen this with other presidents. The harder you go after those leaks, the more they prop up, as a matter of practice.
Well, basically people don't like the leaky, or if they're the subject, or the leaker. And every White House leaks, every politician leaks. They just don't want to have people leak about them. And Trump better get used to this, because he's never quite, I'm not suggesting that he hasn't been involved in big things, but nothing like this. And there weren't a whole lot of leaks about Trump running his casinos or Trump running his businesses. There was some, but this will happen all the time. On a more serious nature, when you go after the intelligence agencies the way he has, they have a way of getting back David, and he better be very careful about that.
Absolutely right, Al. Apart from the theater, and there was a lot of theater involved, let's talk about what real difference this makes in the real world. He needs Congress to be on his side to get even half of what he wants to get done accomplished. How did Congress respond to this news conference?
I think they were a little bit shocked. And I talked to a couple of Republicans who just were, I was on the phone with them, but I could see them shaking their head. Donald Trump won with 46% of the vote. He didn't win the popular vote, but he got 46%. I think it's clear that about 16 or 17% of those voters just couldn't stand Hillary. So he's got a base maybe of 39%. I think almost that entire base probably liked yesterday's performance, at least those that watched it. But what he's doing, he's also solidifying the people who are against him. He's not picking up anyone. And I think it's hard to govern that way. If he has successes, if the economy is able to create a lot of new jobs, if he can have a big foreign policy success, people will pay attention to that. But I don't think he helped himself yesterday as far as either the public or as far as Congress is concerned.
So Al, one of the successes that the business community is looking forward to is tax reform. Right. If you plot it out today, is he closer to tax reform today than he was a week ago?
No, I think it's a really tough slog. I'm going to write about that soon, because David, I am so old. I was here the last time we did tax reform. I actually, helped edit and wrote a foreword for a book about tax reform called Chattahoochee Gulch, and it was really tough then. It's going to be much tougher today, and I don't see the people who really made it happen back then. I don't see those types of people around today.
So finally, Al, what about getting his own executive branch team together? How is that progressing? He referred to the fact he was having trouble getting confirmation of some of his cabinet appointments. Is he getting the team together?
Well, the confirmation's been a problem. He'll have most of his cabinet in place within a couple weeks. There's a labor secretary that's still outstanding, and the EPA guy is still outstanding. But he's got a White House problem. I mean, the guy, he had to dump Mike Flynn. The admiral, the very respected admiral, they wanted to take his place, just said, hey, I don't want any part of this, basically. So he's really got to put that together. There are all sorts of appointments at the sub-cabinet level that haven't been made. So he does not have anything like a team together yet.